Yo, what's up, guys? We're live. We're going to be doing this UFC 302 recap. Then we're going to do a little bit of breakdown for UFC Louisville early preview. So, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone in the chat. We got Tristan in the chat. We got Meek in the chat. So, what's up, guys? And yeah, man. So let's get into this fight card. I mean, first few fights weren't really the best, but definitely closed out the show with one of the best fights of the year. So that was fun to see. But let's break it down from start to finish. So first fight of the night, Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo. What were your feelings about that fight?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just to get into it, what a crazy night with some of these scorecards. Luckily, I think all the right guys won, but there were three really terrible scorecards in three different fights that I don't know, like if it's something shady going on with people betting split decisions or what. But I mean, this is one of them. I thought Raposo looked decent. Lima looked good, but he did miss weight, and he's a cheater, bro. And I mean, I think that's why he got bit in his last fight, because he was grabbing the fence so much. I think Severino got mad and retaliated. The ref in this fight was crazy. I mean, Lima poked him in the eye, and the ref was like smiling and was like, "You have to go. You have to." He didn't give him time. Apparently got yelled at in between rounds by Jason Herzog, which is pretty funny. But yeah, just a real shit show on the reffing and the judges. But Lima does what he should expect. Hopefully Raposo gets another opportunity, because I think he's a good fighter, and this was a tough fight on short notice. I switched my pick to Lima last minute, but I thought he would get it done inside the distance. So the decision didn't help too much, but kind of how the fight ended up, thinking how it would go. Neither guy really stood out to me too much, and I thought it was a good matchup, and I just hope Raposo gets one more shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought that fight was really lackluster. It was like I don't know where Raposo's game plan was in the fight, because I think when you were given the breakdown, I mean, you were thinking that he was going to wrestle a lot more, right? Like he didn't shoot
Definitely, I was
takedowns,
definitely
man.
surprised.
It was just like I don't know if it was the leg kicks early or what it was, but he just didn't seem to get any offense going for majority of the fight. I mean, kind of like what he always does, like where I feel like he's really pretty with his movement, his footwork. He can move around well, but he's not that offensive with his striking. So it's kind of like hard for me to like him at 125 in the UFC. I think he's definitely going to get another fight or two, and we'll see what happens. But unless he really gets better at using his wrestling and stuff like that, then I'm not too sure if he's going to stick around, because I don't think his striking is good enough. He doesn't throw enough volume, and he's not going to get knockouts against UFC level guys. Lima, he's not great either, though. I thought he looked a lot better in his debut fight than this one. There was just really only leg kicks in this fight from him. To me, his offense, I mean, and Raposo didn't do anything. So it's kind of a really boring fight. And like you said, that ref, Oliver or whatever, he was doing that same shit in the Zaleski fight, remember? So I don't know, like, what was going on with that. It was the refs and the judges kind of doing some weird shit. But yeah, ultimately, Lima won. This is one of these scorecards you're talking about, though, because one of the judges, two judges gave it 30-27 Andre Lima, and then one judge gave Mitch Raposo the win 29-28 somehow. So,
Which is really crazy to me. It was really crazy because, like, the first and the third round, I mean, the second, I get it. Could have gone to Raposo, was pretty close. But, I mean, in my opinion, the first and the third round, from what I remember, like, we're not close at all. Like, they were clear Andre Lima rounds. So, it just makes no sense. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as the Costa one, which for me, that's the most insane scorecard of our all time, that the guy had the first 4 rounds for Paulo. But yeah, this one was really crazy too. I don't know what the fuck these guys are watching, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. And then SD Crusader said, always amazes me when dudes whose dream is fighting the UFC come in and lay a total dud. I mean, it's could just be, the nerves.
Fighting a guy, though, who missed weight, is poking him in the eyes, and he got his calf destroyed early, like within a minute of the fight. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm defending Raposo a little too much, but
Mitch hasn't really shown to use his grappling since the Hadley fight. Yeah, he was getting a lot of knockouts against guys, but they just weren't really that great of fighters. So, but yeah, I think at this level he's gonna have to wrestle more, man, or he's gonna get cut pretty soon. So, MMA Genie or my bad, MMA Betting Mastermind wanted to hop on here again. So what's up, dude?
What's up? Do you hear me?
Or yep.
Yeah.
What's up, man? You want to talk about this fight real quick?
What's
Andre
up,
Lima
guys?
versus
The delay.
Raposo?
Yeah, the delay's pretty heavy, but yeah, look, the right guy won. It wasn't impressive. I felt if Raposa, maybe was more aggressive, he could have had more success if he just, started being more aggressive like that earlier in the fight. But the low kicks paid dividends. I don't see either of these fighters really having a high ceiling. But I mean, whatever. It was a whatever fight, Boring, honestly.
Yeah. At 125, I definitely think they'll fight again because there's not that many guys in that weight class, and they don't seem like they like signing those guys. So they'll fight again for like cheap, So I think Mitch will definitely be back. So, but yeah, I don't know if there's that many guys like.
Yeah, I mean,
think of,
that's a rematch we would want to watch right there. So I doubt that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who would Mitch Raposo be in UFC at this point? I don't really know. But
Daniel Lacerda.
who?
Daniel Lacerda.
His durability holds up, sure. Lacerda can gas.
Yeah, he could. That would be. I guess that's the fight to make, huh? But next fight, Aline Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards. Fitz, you can talk about this one first. Another fight that was. I mean, this one was a decent fight. It was close. So, what did you think about it?
Yeah, man, it was close. Edwards was like my dog of the night, so that sucks it didn't come through. But I knew it would be a close one, a sweaty one, and it really just came down. I mean, she was doing well, but she got reversed in that third round, and it came down to that, and she couldn't. Perez showed to have a little bit more heart, dig a little bit deeper in that third round, and Jocelyn I think was faring well in the grappling exchanges. Just hate that she kept getting hit with that headlock, man. You really at the UFC level should be able to stop a headlock or any type of throw like that. You know what I mean? Just some low level stuff from Edwards there, but yeah, didn't turn out the way I wanted to. But it was a close fight, decent fight, whatever. Best part was Eileen trying to get Jocelyn to twerk with her at the end. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. But what about you? What did you think about it, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, look, Perez, she won the fight, right? I mean, I said she would win a decision here. I felt she would have success with the wrestling. I felt she would be getting takedowns. Edwards doesn't have the greatest defensive wrestling, and Fitz, I mean, that was a bad bet. I know the fight played out close, but we saw Jessica Rose Clark just kind of wet blanket her for 3 rounds. I don't know what you were thinking. I mean, Edwards is a fighter who has bad defensive wrestling. Perez is a fighter who goes out there and goes for takedowns. So maybe a live bet. We've seen Perez. At times her conditioning is great because she fights at such a high pace. So a live bet on Edwards in between rounds, that would have been solid. But I didn't understand the Edwards bet. I know that.
I mean, I think it played out closer there. She was almost plus 200. Plus 180, I think. Plus, so it played out close. It really could have gone either way. I thought, so I think it's a decent bet. I'd probably, with the same line, I'd do it again. If they fought again. Worst bets on the card. Betting Morono on short notice. Right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The way he looked.
But I feel like either way, just me personally, I think Perez's stock kind of dropped a little bit. Like, I know she was calling out Kayla Harrison and all that.
Kayla Harrison will destroy her. Like.
Yeah, but it's like
hilarious call out.
But I don't know. I mean, I just feel like Perez. It's like she barely squeaked by in this fight. It's like Edwards definitely could have won. So Edwards is kind of like that gatekeeper, I think, to like the top 20 or whatever. But I'm not sure about either girl. Like, you think either one will like be able to beat ranked opponents? I don't know, but I guess 135 sucks. So it's like a horrible division. So
Yeah, I mean, beating like that top 15 of 135 is not much, but neither girl's pushing that top 10, top 5, you know.
yeah.
Both getting like knocked out by Irene Aldana.
But this fight was pretty sick, dude. Vasil Hafez versus Mickey Gall. I mean,
Oh
man,
yeah.
Mickey Gall showed up to fight in this fight. You know, it was competitive. I feel like first round Hafez kind of really dominated the first round. You know, he hurt Mickey quite a few times, and I feel like Mickey just, you know, he couldn't find his range in the first, but second round was really
I
close.
wouldn't call the first round domination. Mickey Gall did have a few moments late.
Yeah, at the end of the round, I guess. Yeah, but to start the fight, at least Hafez was like really like on him at first. But yeah, third round Mickey came on. You know, he definitely won that round. I don't know how one judge had it 30-27. You know, I definitely feel like Gall at least won the second was pretty close, and it was a banger though. I mean, Hafez, I feel like he kind of was exactly where I thought he was, like kind of at that low tier, mid level where he's tough though. I mean, the guy has a chin and good pressure, but striking, you know, he's too open to being hit. I think against other guys, he'll definitely wrestle more. But Gall obviously, that's where he wanted to be, was on the ground. So, but yeah, man, I feel like Mickey Gall looked good. So I wouldn't mind seeing him again in another cool fight. But Hafez, I don't know. They're probably gonna give him a hard fight next. I mean, don't you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he looked pretty good. You know, it's just tough to gauge, you know, just because we don't really know where Mickey Gall is. I thought Mickey Gall looked pretty good, but, you know, he's laid duds, you know, in his last couple of fights. But, yeah, I think Basil has the skills to be a pretty good fighter. You know, I'm a fan of his. You know, he's a tough guy, you know, throws hard punches. And even when he gets tired, you know, he fights through that really well.
Yeah. What about you, Justin?
Yeah. Sorry, I had a anyway, yeah, look, I picked Mickey Gall to win this fight, man. I felt that, you know, this could possibly be a fight where we have two grapplers canceling each other out, and you know, for the first few rounds, I mean, that's what it was for the majority of the fight. And Mickey Gall had some good moments throughout. I felt he clearly won the third round. I thought a 30-27 scorecard was absurd, but yeah, I mean, what was Basil Hafez? 3-1 favorite, damn near 4-1 favorite by close. Those odds were off, so I had to just put a bet on Mickey Gall there. Just felt the odds were too wide, and I felt he won the fight. I felt he picked it up in the latter half of the second. I felt he did enough, and you know, I felt he clearly won the third. Again, the judging was just absurd. I'm sure you guys are going to talk about that 49-46 Costa, but yeah, I felt Mickey Gall won. But close fight. Maybe there is some bias on my part there.
Yeah, it was definitely close. I mean, I rewatched it actually, and I think Hafez won. But when I first watched it, I thought Mickey won as well. You know, I think he landed the bigger shots in the second and third, maybe. But it's like he was reacting big. I don't know. It was a close fight for sure. But I don't know. I don't know how that's affecting knockouts, man. I mean, do you guys think that crazy there was no KOs? Those gloves are an issue.
No, I mean, just kind of how the fight night played out. Like, I think the gloves are lighter. No, they're 3 ounces now instead of 4. So, if anything, you would think we'd see more knockouts. I mean, I guess maybe, but
I mean, it was the first card, so like you said, I guess I wonder if this upcoming card is the same. We're gonna have to see if it continues, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's hard to really like. I don't know.
We need a larger sample size. We need a larger sample size with the new gloves. But I mean, I know I saw a tweet from Cody Saftik talking about you know, for the main event, the logo was fading after 3 rounds. So the new gloves definitely suck. I think, and just from, you know, a viewing perspective, the golds with the black letters looks kind of funky. I feel it would look a lot better if they just did gold logo with the black glove, but whatever. I prefer the old gloves, and there were a ton of eye pokes as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's one thing for sure. Dude. Like
a ton.
The first fight, it was like he's like 3 eye pokes or something. So, but yeah, everyone in the chat too. What did you guys think? Like, who won that fight between Mickey and Hafez? Does anyone else think Mickey won? But we'll move on to this next fight, Jake Matthews versus Phil Rowe. I was talking about, we actually kind of got in a little bit of a, not an argument, we were debating, about the sub and Phil Rowe. And, man, I mean, I feel like the third round, they got a little bit of a grappling exchange there. And Phil Rowe was doing all right, but got reversed. And then Jake Matthews kind of won the fight off that. But first round, Phil Rowe had a few moments where he hurt Jake Matthews, it seemed like, with some big 1-2s and stuff. So he won that round. But second round, Matthews definitely beat him with the boxing pressure. And then he won the third round, I feel. So Phil Rowe, I mean, not sure where he goes from here, honestly. I mean, he's probably going to have to take a big step down in competition. And Jake Matthews kind of the same thing. I mean, I don't know if he's going to make a run or anything, but kind of up and down fighter. So fight kind of played out how I thought, though. I feel like Phil Rowe had to have knocked him out to get the win. And if it didn't happen, Matthews probably going to take the decision. So kind of what happened. But what did you guys think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of the fighter Phil Rowe is, but I had a little, higher expectation, higher hope for him. Thought he had a little more potential than this, but not being able to get the win over Jake Matthews, But I'm also happy for Matthews because, there's a point he was looking a little washed, especially after that Semmelsberger fight. But he's just really a tough fighter. Sometimes he'll lay eggs, sometimes he'll look great. I thought this was a pretty good performance, how he used the boxing, like you said, got on the inside. I thought if he was going to win, it would just be a lot of control wrestling, but, he had a really good performance on the feet.
Yeah, I thought this fight sucked, honestly, like a lot of the fights on the card did. Phil Rowe fought a great first round, but it seemed like after that nut shot, Matthews picked it up with the aggression, and Phil Rowe, he fought like a retard. It was 1-1 going into the third, and he initiated grappling. I just didn't understand that. I mean, Jake Matthews is
he stuffed that takedown so easy.
Yeah. And look, Phil Rowe got a reversal at one point, but then he got reversed quickly, and he kind of just got controlled. So, that's bad fight IQ right there, and that's the reason why he's never really gonna make something of himself in the UFC.
Yeah, and for Jake, I mean, would you give him like another fight like Michael Morales, or are you gonna try to like build him up? Like
he already fought Michael Morales. Matthews already fought Michael.
I'm saying
a fight like another fight like that,
like where they're trying to like use him to build someone else, or would you give him like like a fight he could win? where you're trying to get him on a win streak, because it's like Jake's been in UFC for so long.
I give him like who the guy Buckley just beat.
Jake's been in the UFC for 10 years at this point. I think over 10 years, right? So he's not that guy they want to push. I think they use him as a stepping stone against a good prospect.
Yeah, Ruzabayev. I mean, what do you think about that, Justin? You like that fight? I think Jake could win that, honestly. But
I mean, Ruzabayev doesn't have great defensive wrestling. It's a close fight. I don't know. I could see the matchmaking though.
Yeah, but this next fight, Grant Dawson versus Joe Solecki. I mean, kind of exactly how I thought the fight would play out. I mean, I guess Solecki had that guillotine kind of close in the first round, but that was really all that he had, man. I mean, he got dominated in the grappling the rest of the fight. Grant Dawson was taking him down so easily too. Like, I was kind of surprised by that. I thought Solecki at least was gonna put up a little bit more resistance, but just pure domination, man. I mean, from Grant Dawson. So I don't think it was an impressive win that's going to get him any fans or anything, but got the job done real easy. So good job from Grant. And Joe Solecki, I mean, I honestly wouldn't be mad if I never saw him fight again, but he'll probably get another fight, and we'll see what happens. But, yeah, that's kind of what I got to say about that one. So what do you think about it, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, this is the fight we all expected, right? There was always the possibility Solecki getting a submission. He threatened submissions early, but Grant Dawson taking him down, controlling him for 3 rounds. Very boring fight, and I wouldn't hate if the UFC released Grant Dawson after his contract. We've seen it in the past where maybe UFC fighters with good records and they're great fighters, they're just boring. They have a boring style, and Dana doesn't like that. So I don't think that's out of realm of possibility for Grant Dawson. I just hate this guy's style. It didn't really seem like he tried to pursue a finish, just take down, control time. I mean, he won. I expected him to fight that way, and I guess if he parlayed Dawson, then it was a pretty entertaining fight to watch. But I just hate this guy, man. I really do.
I will say, Joe Selecki, he wasn't trying to stand up though at all. Like, so
Yeah, if anyone's getting cut, it should be
he's the one that made the
Selecki.
fight boring as fuck. Like, I know Grant, like, he didn't do much either. But
Well,
Joe
I'm not saying they should
Yeah.
cut him. I'm saying after he finishes up this contract, they don't renew it. They release him, and we've seen the UFC do that in the past for boring
Yeah.
fighters who have good records.
I think Joe Selecki, like, I don't know how many fights he has left on his contract, but he has like a decent record, right? He's probably like 6-3 or something. But if that's his last fight, I definitely wouldn't renew his contract.
He's very inactive.
Yeah, but what about you, Fitz? I mean, what do you think about like the future of these two guys, kind of?
I mean, I think Dawson's a really good fighter. I mean, maybe the most impressive thing he did all night, though, is how good Dustin's takedown defense looked. They're getting in it. Seriously, though, they're
Yeah,
getting in at ATT, and Dustin's takedown
You
defense was
can thank
pretty
Matuish
great.
Gamrot for that. You can thank
Yeah, I
Gamrot.
mean, both of them, but Gamrot too. Definitely. Dustin's takedown defense was sick. I was so happy. He put on a great. But anyways, Dawson decision. It was my favorite bet of the night. Favorite prop. It was free, pretty much. I mean, there was like not even a second that Dawson was threatening to finish that fight.
yeah. Dawson is.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it for sure. I mean, he's kind of like Jake.
I don't think
Shields
he's that
type.
boring though. I mean, he at least throws ground and pound. Like he has pretty nasty ground and pound.
He's
I
had
think at
finishes
least
in other
Who's
fights.
ETQ'd? Who's ETQ'd with ground and pound?
Leandro Santos in that third round.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. He knocked him out in the dying seconds, right?
Yeah, he actually had he has like 4 or 5 finishes in UFC, but they're always usually like just rear naked chokes. They're nothing like spectacular.
Yeah, Jared Gordon, etc.
Yeah, I almost fell asleep. Yeah, I mean that fight for sure was horrible. Though. Like that fight was terrible. But Billy Briss said, "Shout out my man Fitz. Told me to cash out the Almeida bet without saying it and save me some money. Ended up sweeping the card. So good shit, dude. That's awesome. I didn't even know that. So that's sick. So you probably cashed out and you said
Right here. This fight right here. Well, I'll let you take it away first. Chris.
Yeah, but you said real shit, Fitz. You and Jersey for shots on me. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, Hoboken.
Dawson took what the fight gave him. Probably a good wrestler next. Yeah, I mean Dawson. Selecki's a grappler too, and he dominated fucking.
Give him.
What's the Russian dude that he fought? Is Gulov or whatever? Like he just took him down easily.
Amir Magulov.
Yeah, so Dawson's a beast, man. I mean, I get he's boring as fuck, but the guy's really good. So he's
Give
probably
him
one of the
CDF,
best.
I think.
He's one of the best grapplers in the UFC, honestly. Like all divisions. But yeah,
CDF, I think that's a good fight.
yeah, him versus
So let's see.
CDF looked really good his last fight. So yeah, I know he called out Jalen Turner too. That would be like a cool fight.
Oh, he'll smoke Jalen Turner, I think. I mean, maybe he has no chin.
Probably,
He did get
but he
slept.
could get slept. Yeah, it's like kind of like
Turner.
But,
Turner had one of the all-time worst performances at UFC 300.
yeah, at least he doesn't. Yeah, he kind of lay and prayed in this fight, but other fights he hasn't. And then he said, "I just woke up, passed out during that Dawson fight." Yeah, but all right, Jonathan Almeida versus Romanov. I mean, this is kind of what you guys probably wanted to see on the ground from Dawson, right? So, what do you think about this one, Justin? Quick finish for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, I called this fight to a T. I plugged into my Tapology profile. Jilton Almeida, submission, first round. Romanov is a great hammer, but he's a terrible nail. We saw him quit against Volkov, and he quit in this fight here. Jilton Almeida, very quick to go to the wrestling. Romanov is a great offensive wrestler, but he's not great at stuffing takedowns. And once he was once he was put on his back, he didn't really have anything. And Jilton Almeida with a quick submission. It was an entertaining performance. I really should have bet Almeida ITD, but I was just scared off from that last fight with Curtis Blades. But Jilton Almeida submission first round, I called it. It was pick your poison. Hey, Romanov, do you want to get ground and pounded out, or do you want to get choked out. Well, I should say tapped out because he always taps out before he blacks out. He's a quitter, and Jalen Almeida first round submission, boys.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys, you and Billy, because I picked Almeida and I thought he was gonna win, but I asked you guys, like, you guys think he's a lock? Because I was kind of thinking like maybe Romanov could do something, but yeah, you guys said nah, and then I was like, yeah, you're right. So I mean, fuck, man. I mean, kind of went down how we thought, right? He just took his back and choked him out.
I knew. I said it. One takedown, it's over. That's all
And
it took. I mean,
something else, guys. To all the Romanov backers out there, if you were betting Romanov, you felt there was value on him, you were going to need to rely on a first-round finish because let's say he gets that takedown, he gets in a dominant position. If the fight goes past the first, then he's toast. So you Romanov backers, even if you were picking him, you were relying on a first-round finish.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you guys think what do you think about Romanov's next fight? Like, would you give him a bum or would you give him another like guy and just kill him off out of the UFC? Like, because it's gonna be one of those two,
I think you give him Maurice Green in the PFL. PFL Challenger Series main event.
He could probably get the million in PFL. Honestly, I mean, who the fuck is? I think he would lose to that Ferrer guy.
I don't think he can make weight that many times in a year.
Yeah, Almeida was free money. He fought a perfect fight. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Almeida for sure. I mean, the guy did what he had to do, right? Like, he could have made it boring and just lay and pray or something, but he just took him out really quick. But, yeah, he's starting to fill out. Doesn't look like a 205er anymore. Yeah, he was like 240 or something for this fight. So, yeah, he's looking like I think he could be a problem, for a lot of guys.
He's another – yeah. Sorry to cut you off. He's another one of those fighters that is clearly on some sort of performance enhancers.
Yeah, more than likely, for sure. But Romanov versus Gassiev, that would be a hilarious fight, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I would watch that. Gassiev got that fight. He got so tired versus fucking Rosenstruck. That was funny, but yeah, dude.
Give him Muhammad Usman.
Him versus Usman. Usman's. I know he's Mastermind's boy. I'm just joking because I was thinking Usman was gonna beat Parkin or whatever, but he picked Mick. But yeah, Romanov. I mean Almeida. I mean, I think they'll give him like a top 5 guy again, right? I mean, so
how do you think he does against Cyril Gane?
Paris, yeah.
How do you think he'd do?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Cyril Gane's been doing. Like, he's had a long fucking time to train his grappling, man. I mean, but if he hasn't, then yeah, Almeida's probably just gonna kill him, But who knows? I mean, Cyril's athletic as fuck, right? And he's been out for like 2 years, a while, right? At least a year.
No,
so,
well, Sergey Spivak, that was UFC Paris September last year.
I think like September exactly.
I forgot he even came back and fought that fight, but yeah, he killed Spivak really quick. So
I don't know if Sergey.
I don't know if you call it a standing TKO killing someone.
Well, like, it was a quick fight. I mean, he destroyed him, dude. It was over. Like, what did you want?
I just don't know if Cyril, based on like what we know about his personality, is the type of guy who out of fight camp is really going to be grinding the wrestling. To be honest, with me, at least that I'm sure he's training, but I mean,
I definitely don't like he. Not to shit on France or anything, but he never left. Like, he's still training over there, and there's definitely no fucking wrestlers over there. Like, so it's like,
especially not at heavyweight,
flying people in or something. But yeah, next fight, good call by you in this fight, man. But I don't think it kind of went down how you thought because you were saying that he was a better striker. But Kopolov, man, he went in there and just made it a boring ass fight. The dude just took him down and laid on him for dear life in the fucking 3rd round. I was like. That was so annoying, man, honestly, because I bet on Almeida to win 2nd and 3rd round, which I thought it was going to happen, man. After the 2nd, I was like, dude, he's going to finish this fool. And, man, I mean, Kopolov pulled it off, though. I mean, the guy just laid and prayed his way to the end of the fight. And Herb Dean was trying to help Almeida out a little bit, I guess. Like, he was standing him up real quick at the end, but I think it was kind of justified just because Kopolov was for sure stalling. But, yeah, Almeida kind of got exposed a little bit, no takedown defense, which I already kind of knew that, but it's like I didn't think Kopolov was going to wrestle him, but even got wrestled by a striker now, so I don't know what is next for Almeida. I think that was a big loss for him. And Kopolov, I mean, squeaked by, but horrible fight. So, yeah, what did you think about that, Justin?
Yeah, look, I felt that Kopylov, he did great in terms of fight IQ and that he went to the grappling. But I got to be honest, I was tuned out of this fight. I was because I don't know, I was doing something else, but I did see that Kopylov went to the grappling, and that was kind of smart. I think he got a knockdown at one point.
Yeah,
I was a bit disappointed in Almeida's defensive wrestling. I felt that would hold up better, but yeah, I mean, I guess smart fight from Kopylov.
the Russian finally. Yeah, for sure in this fight. But what about you, Fitz? I mean, this was your most confident pick, I think you said, and it came through. So
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would look better on the feet. Had more success in the striking outside that first round. But I'm happy to see Kopylov show the advancement in his game. Being able to add that layer because we had really never seen the grappling before. Like not at all. I mean, in the Duraev fight, I think there were some scrambles, but really him initiating a game plan like this is new. So. Yeah, I mean, Cesar Almeida, I think, still, can make improvements. Still young in his MMA career, but he's up there in age, and he definitely got exposed here. It was the takedown defense was not there at all. Even when Kopylov was gassed in the third round, he was getting the takedowns pretty easily.
but yeah, dude, Kopolov though, you gotta admit, I mean, that dude, he was doing nothing on top, bro. Like he was literally just like laying on
Holding on
top.
for dear life.
Yeah, like it's like, but he did what he had to do, I guess. Next fight, this was a good fight. I mean, this was another fight we were talking about that ref. Like that dude probably had a bet on Randy Brown in this fight to help me out because I had a bet on Randy too. But it's like he let him poke him in the eye like 3 times, headbutted him too or something, right? And he was like, just like he didn't even stop the fight. He was just like, go, 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 or whatever. So Randy, he went in there and won the first and the third with his distance. So, yeah, what did you guys think about this fight personally?
All right, well, I felt that Randy Brown fought great in the first round, but Zaleski, man, I mean, look, I picked Randy Brown. I picked Randy Brown by his decision. I felt that was a logical pick, but Zaleski he's got this way of making fights close, and, he was able to get the grappling going in rounds 2 and 3, but Randy Brown did a good job of, getting back up and kind of having moments in the striking. The reach advantage played to his advantage, obviously. And the first round, he fought great. It was one of the more entertaining fights on the card. I felt it was a good showing for Randy Brown, and he's underrated, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a really good performance from Randy Brown. This is a really tough fight. Zaleski Dos Santos is a beast. He definitely, had to be careful. Almost got finished in that second round. Almost got choked. Um, but yeah, I still don't know how high Randy Brown can soar. If he's, in that top 15, top 10 level, maybe gatekeep like that top 15. But hopefully he gets a step up and gets a chance to prove that in his next fight. As far as Aleski, just put him in fun fights, barn burners.
Yeah, I mean, Randy, dude, one thing I like about Randy is he did almost get choked, but his top game is sick. Like, when he gets on top, he's really good. Like, he was actually, I think, closer to finishing the fight, in that second round, even though Zaleski had way more back control. But, yeah, this next fight, man, this was a horrible fight. Like, I don't know what was up with Morono, man, in this fight. It's like,
Short notice.
but he had 6 weeks, though. I mean, that's a lot. Like, he looked like shit. Like, you know what
He,
I mean?
he looked bad in the
terrible.
fight against Court McGee as well, which was something no one really brought up. And I understand it's a different stylistic matchup, but still he looks bad against Court McGee.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like this fight, you could tell, like, in the first round, like, Nico's not as good of a fighter as Alex. Like, Alex is faster. He's a way better striker. He had better grappling, but it's like Nico just won the fight on like toughness and cardio, and that's it. So it's like Morono gassed out, and Nico got the win. But I think they're gonna feed Nico to somebody in his next fight. He's gonna get killed more than likely. And Morono, I mean, I don't know if he had an injury or something was going on because he gassed so bad. It was like,
Yeah,
the pace
he
was
fought like
crazy
garbage
high.
as well. He fought garbage. He was overextending himself pretty bad and getting sloppy even in the early rounds. So I don't
Yeah.
know what was up with him. He's usually pretty smart with the way he fights, but he looked sloppy.
Yeah, and it's like maybe it was just like he already got knocked out by Nico, and maybe he wasn't trained or he had something going on, like injury wise, and he just didn't want to turn down the fight or something. I don't know, but what do you think about Nico? Like, you guys think he's gonna do well in the future? Like, he's gonna win another UFC fight?
No, like you
No,
said,
he didn't. He didn't look too good.
yeah, he won this fight off uh, toughness and conditioning. Like you said, Nico Price has good conditioning, but he's not a great fighter. I mean, he was an all right fighter, but at this stage in his career, I think they probably give him. I think they probably feed him in someone in his next fight.
Yeah, they should give him a Michael Morales fight. Him versus Michael Morales.
I think Morales is above those type of matchups.
He needs to step up. Yeah, he's been on a real good win streak. I agree. Give him
Could be.
Bonfin maybe.
Yeah, something. I mean, but Morono, I mean, that's a bad loss for him, man, because he was kind of like,
It's a terrible performance. One of the
you
worst
could have
I've
said,
seen
like,
in a long time.
he was around getting ranked. I mean, he was like kind of.
I think your boy Lucrative. He lost a big bang on this one.
On Morono.
Yeah, a lot of guys got burned on Morono.
I bet I had a parlay with Morono in it too. I mean, but
I got
that
killed.
was
It
bad.
killed me.
Oh shoot, boys, I got some bad news for you, and I was looking forward to this. UFC 303 Dublin press conference.
Yeah, delayed.
Jesus,
Oh, for it, really?
that sucks. Yeah, I was
Connor, I
looking
guess,
forward to
is
that.
going to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
You think that's fights can actually 100% happen? I don't know.
This is sketchy. This is
It's up in
sketchy.
the air. It's definitely up in the air.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
but yeah, I was
Volkanovski
looking.
will
That
have
would
to
have been
fight
hilarious
Chandler.
in Dublin. I think that would have been really fun to watch. So, but
But
hopefully
I
they
also
do.
feel like Connor's trash talk has kind of dropped off a bit.
I agree.
But dude,
it's not the
it
same.
was funny. He was funny in that fucking that kick stream he was doing. That was funny.
Yeah.
You
When it was
guys
saying
watched that?
Khabib's.
Getting
Yeah.
mesmerized by the beer.
Khabib owes his bullocks to the Russian government.
Like, that shit was funny. Like, he was shitting on everybody too, like Taporia and shit. So I thought he did good in that thing. But yeah, if they do it again, in Ireland it'll be funny just because every question, like in the crowd, they're gonna be shitting on Chandler. Like, so I don't know, it'd be kind of crazy. And Chandler has like, he'll actually probably be good at in the press conference too himself, But everyone's gonna request refunds. Yeah, that's crazy that they're like paying like that crazy amount for that shit. But fuck, man. I mean, next fight, crazy fight: Kevin Holland versus Michal Luxacek.
I think that Connor's on a pretty bad bender. That's why he couldn't make it to the presser.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but I don't think it's anything like people act like it's like he was disciplined before. But have you ever seen like there's that clip where Aldo's talking on like that Brazilian podcast, and he was saying that when they were doing their tour or whatever, Connor would always call his like because they had like private jets because they were going all over. And he said Connor would always call their plane like drunk as fuck, talking shit at like 3 a.m, like when they were doing that tour.
Yeah, I mean, look at John Jones. Like, UFC fighters can do good off the cocaine. Might be the secret.
Yeah, but shit, man. I mean, hopefully that goes down and we could see like press conference in the fight. But Kevin Holland versus Michal Luxacek. I mean, I think we all had a good read on this fight. Holland went in there, got the submission. Little bit sketchy, he got dropped, but I don't think he was really hurt that bad, honestly. I think he kind of just was
Flash knockdown.
Yeah, and he was a little off balance, and then it was like, I think he knew on the ground he could finish him. And man, I mean, he caught him with like a real basic arm bar where you usually don't see that happen in UFC these days, where it's like someone gets caught.
Yeah, Michal has horrible submission defense.
Yeah,
he's very susceptible.
But it's like it was just a basic like. You usually don't see people get caught with guard submissions in UFC that much anymore, but Yeah, and he was tough, though. I mean, I guess he let his arm
He's
dislocate.
tough as shit, bro.
But fuck, I mean, Herb Dean, ended up having to stop it, technical submission. But Kevin Holland, man, that guy's a nice guy because you could see, like, I don't know, he doesn't have
He was
that
holding
killer.
back.
Dude, he was like doing it like you're in the gym, like where he's like putting a little bit more pressure, a little bit more. He's like, you're gonna tap. Then he finally at the end, he kind of just said, "Fuck it." But if that was like Frank Mir or
He
somebody,
tucked
dude,
it under the armpit as well. It gets worse when you tuck it under the armpit.
But if that was like Frank Mir or someone like that, dude, he would have fucking snapped the shit out of that dude's arm, like took it home with him. So Mia was actually probably pretty lucky that he was fighting someone like Kevin Holland. He's like a nice guy. So, yeah, Holland got the job done and had a good interview too. He called himself a gatekeeper and all that, but that's kind of who Holland is. But yeah, I mean, what did you guys think about Holland's performance here?
Yeah, I thought it was a good bounce back win, and this was a very good stylistic matchup for him. We had a few guys on Michal Oleksiejczuk. I personally didn't understand it, but yeah, look, no wrestling threat. I was surprised he got dropped, but even I don't know, maybe I'm kind of looking too much into it, but for the short amount of time they were striking, Holland was popping the jab, and his footwork looked pretty good. So it was maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it was a good stylistic matchup for him, and I felt the UFC was giving him this fight to get him back into the win column.
Yeah. And I hopefully they rebook him quick, man. Like hopefully he could fight on like UFC 303 or something. But what about you, Fitz? What do you think?
Yeah, easy money for Holland. I mean, Michelle's just so tough. I don't know how he literally wanted to keep fighting. His arm was like snapped. It's crazy. I don't know if it's the adrenaline or what. But he's a savage guy. But yeah, I mean, Holland does what he should. Taps them, boom, easy money. It should be a quick turnaround, hopefully. I don't know if his next fight's going to be I think he's going to stay at 185 now.
I don't know. I feel like he's done better at 185 than 170, but he probably should
170 fighters are definitely more skilled. So
yeah, but it's like he could if he fights guys like Mihao, he could win. Honestly, they should just do that with Kevin. They should just give him a bomb every month. He could fight every month, like Jeremy Horn or some shit. Because it's that's more fun than watching him get wrestle fucked, dude. So, but yeah. I mean, co-main
I still
event.
think they need to make that rematch with Buckley. Sorry, blanked out. I mean, that fight could be a main event, and they would sell it so much. I mean, that would be a huge fight night just because of the build-up. I think they really missed out not rebooking that one.
You would have to have Buckley win. You would have to have Buckley win that though. Be confident you would win. I feel because what you wouldn't want Kevin to just kill Buckley off like that. It's he has a lot of momentum. I feel and Kevin's kind of he said a gatekeeper now. But because if Kevin won that fight, he'd be in the top 5, dude. It's who would he fight? Who would he fight at that point? He'd just lose the next one.
But I mean, then Kevin's in a good spot. You can make a big fight with Ian Gary or someone, and I'm telling you that Buckley Holland fight would get a lot of hype. They would build it up big. I really think so.
What do you think? Would you want to see that?
Buckley versus Holland?
Yeah. No, I was saying, would you want to see that fight?
Oh yeah, no, it's a good matchup. I thought you were just maybe I didn't hear you.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, man, co-main event, Sean Strickland versus Costa. I mean, I think the scorecards are more entertaining than the fight. It was basically Strickland, keeping him walking forward, and Costa was just running the whole fight. So I don't know what Costa's game plan was really in this fight. He had a good first round. I mean, I guess if you were a huge Costa fan, you could say maybe won the first round, even though I thought Strickland definitely won it at the end of the round. But he was doing good at the start of that round, and I think he had one other round where it was kind of close, but basically just running the whole fight. So Strickland had an easy fight, and yeah, he got the job done. So what do you think about this one, Justin?
Yeah, look, I thought that you can't blame Strickland for making the fight boring. I felt that Paulo Costa, he had a horrible game plan. He had good moments. There was a moment, I think early round 4, he had a nice low kick and nice punch to the body, but I just didn't understand the game plan, man. I mean, backing up against Sean Strickland it's a horrible way to fight him. And we had a few guys picking Costa this week. Didn't understand that because Paulo Costa is not some one punch knockout artist. Okay, he's a volume guy. If he gets you out of there, it's by TKO, and it's probably by accumulation of shots. So for him to beat Sean Strickland in this matchup, he was going to have to connect at a solid clip, and I just didn't see him connecting at a solid clip. His shots are very telegraphed. He loads them up, and Sean Strickland is very defensively sound. Sean Strickland decision, the logical pick. A lot of guys out there, they overthought this fight. They overthinked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a boring fight, a little lackluster. I know probably cost this fight, but I just don't know what you do from here with Strickland. I mean, I don't know if this warrants it. Like, if Khamzat goes out there and destroys Whitaker, I mean, I would think Khamzat's going to jump him for a title fight, and who knows what happens with Cannonier. I mean, if Cannonier gets it knocked out, he could jump Strickland. Middleweights, I'm a big fan of the
Still a
middleweight
lot you
division,
can
but
do with Strickland, man. There's a
it's
lot going
definitely
on in the
congested at top.
185 division.
But I'm just saying in terms of him, I know he really wants that title shot and thinks he already deserves the immediate rematch. I don't know if they're, he's a pretty big name, and I think, especially a rematch with Izzy would be a pretty big
Oh,
fight.
look,
But
why not give him the winner of DDP Adesanya, give him the loser of DDP Adesanya, give him the winner of Cannonier versus Imavov this weekend, give him the loser of Whitaker versus Chimaev, or there's a lot going on in the middleweight division, man. So
You could give Strickland, who we were just talking to. I don't think they would do it. It would be a big step up, but him versus Buckley. But yeah.
Buckley's fighting at 170.
Buckley's 170, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know. My bad. But I took the fight goes distance at plus money, and I thought that was an easy bet. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Like, I bet the over 4.5 rounds was plus. So I don't know. I don't know why that was plus money. I mean, I'm not sure, but Chimaev Strickland would be a banger. Two former.
Sorry, are you actually doing a UFC St. Louisville preview? Because I'm having trouble with that card from a betting perspective. I haven't really fished out any solid bets. I was thinking of maybe Lapulus wouldn't fight.
We're gonna talk about it a little bit, after the main event or whatever. But yeah, so we got the main event: Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. And man, I thought this was a sick fight. Like, honestly, shout out to Dustin Poirier because I think he kind of outperformed what everyone expected. He had a lot better grappling defense, takedown defense than usual, and really pushes on. It was a close fight. I mean, even one judge had a 2-2 going into the 5th round, which I think it was a little generous, but I definitely thought Dustin, I can't remember which round it was, but either the 2nd or 4th, I thought he won that round pretty clearly. But Islam looked great though, man. I mean, the guy gets shit on sometimes, or people kind of judge him because they compare him to Habib, but I feel like his striking looked good. He was able to compete on the feet and hurt Dustin quite a few times, and then his wrestling, obviously didn't look the best, but the end of that fight, that takedown was so sick, the way he whipped that single leg, and then when he took the back, and I think Dustin kind of turned in, and then he just got that dart, so it was kind of like the ending was really sick, and that was awesome to see because Islam was totally gassed and still had the wherewithal to get that finish, so he has that dog in him for sure, and he's a champ for a reason, so
yeah.
Dustin, but man, Dustin was able to pretty much defend the majority of the takedowns after the first round. Like, the first round he got dominated, and then he got taken down maybe a couple more times until the 5th, but it was really a lot of stand up after that. So Dustin, I mean, he didn't retire, but he kind of was hinting at retirement. I still think he's going to come back and have another couple fights, but I think his stock went up again majorly from this fight, even in a loss. So, but Islam kept the belt and called out Leon Edwards, which I feel like he should fight Arman, but yeah, what did you guys think about this one?
Yeah, great showing by Dustin Poirier, man. He overperformed. You said 2-2 was a little bit generous. I agree. You know, he fought a great second round. He fought a great fourth round. He fought a great fight, but you know, at times we get too excited because he's the underdog, and you know he had moments, but you know these judges, man, they're credentialed judges. They can't be getting excited because an underdog has a few moments, and you know they're giving him the round. But look, Dustin fought great. His defensive wrestling was improved. I mean, Matuish Gamrot, I know Fitz said Grant Dawson earlier. They've been working with him on the defensive wrestling, and he looked improved in that department. And you know, we're talking so much about how Dustin overperformed. Great performance by Islam Makhachev as well. You know, because the majority of the fight was striking him. He did outstrike him. He outstruck him. You know, it was competitive, but he outstruck him. And Islam, I've been talking up. This guy has underrated striking. He's a much better striker from a technical perspective than Habib ever was. And yeah, you know, maybe part of that was because Dustin was worried about the wrestling threat, but Islam fought great. Dustin fought great. This was a great fight. I felt it saved the card because you know this UFC 302 event. Let's be honest, it sucked, but the main event, I felt it kind of saved it.
Yeah, I agree actually. Yeah, with that. What do you think?
100% save the card. You know, they say like a bad ending ruins a good book, but this was, you know, a good ending kind of saved the bad book. I was so close to that Islam decision at plus 550, man. I
Yeah,
really
dude, that
thought
was
I was.
actually a good call because I was like,
Oh,
I was pretty surprised it even went. I thought it was going to go over 2.5, but I was kind of scared to bet it. But I didn't think it was going to go to the 5th round though.
I really thought it was gonna cash. I was getting excited, but what a performance by Dustin, man. I really hope, you know, I know he doesn't really need to fight anymore, but he's still clearly like arguably pound for pound top 15, you know, one of the best fighters at lightweight for sure. Great performance, man. Takedown defense looked good, and Makhachev's just such a beast, bro. The striking, you know, the way he gets that tie plum quick clinch and can do damage off that. You know, he's just dangerous, man. And I agree though. He's got to fight Arman, man. Like, just stay in your division. Like Arman's a deserving challenger. It's a rematch. There's a good story. Like Islam, you know, Arman took you on in his UFC debut on short notice and almost beat you. So Islam's got to show Arman a
I
little
hate
more
that double
respect.
champ stuff. I hate
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
double
but
champ stuff after just a few title defenses.
yeah, and I mean, what do you guys think
let
about
Leon
this?
and Shavkat fight each other, and then Islam goes for the double champ if he beats Arman, and that's perfect because Islam versus Shavkat is crazy.
Yeah,
That's a
that'll be.
crazy fight.
You're just saying Bilal's going to get fucked already. You're not even worried about him.
I think I mean, bro, if I mean I remember that Leon versus Bilal fight that got called off because of the eye pokes. I know Bilal has looked better, but Leon was smoking him in that fight, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm almost for sure gonna pick Leon, but we'll see.
Dude, I think too. Like Islam, he's confident in that Leon matchup because they grappled like 10 years ago or whatever. But that would be a hard ass fight for Islam, dude.
I would pick Leon Edwards.
Yeah, I
I
think
would pick Islam.
dude,
I'm on Islam there.
he wouldn't
Would you
be
pick
able to
Leon?
take Leon down, bro, against
I
the
would pick
cage.
Leon.
You don't think?
Nah, Leon's so good with that 2-on-1, bro. Like, not against the cage. Like his takedown defense against the cage is incredible, man. And in the center, it's like, I don't know. That's a really interesting fight, especially with Islam.
I
Like
got Leon.
he slows
So you would
down.
be more excited for Leon versus Islam than Shavkat versus Islam?
That fight would be crazy as fuck too. But I would be excited for either one. You know, that would be awesome.
They're
Like, I want to
both great
see
fights.
if Shavkat, like if Leon beat Shavkat, though, I'm sure you would be saying he's going to beat Islam. So it's just about,
Yeah.
what we see. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, but I was saying, like, Islam, do you guys think he has cardio issues, or you think it's like it was staph or whatever? Because it's been 2 fights where it's like he got the finish in this one, so it's hard to say he's like totally gassed. But against Volk and against Dustin in the later rounds, it seemed like he was getting tired, So what do you guys think about that?
I don't know if I would call it cardio issues. Maybe he just doesn't have, like elite 5 round cardio. You know what I mean? It's just one of the, when you have a fighter like Islam, you look for kind of any holes in the game, and that might be one of them. I also just real quick want to touch on Dana Whiteman is I feel a little disrespectful, like saying, how
Oh,
can
yeah.
anyone call Islam pound for pound #1 when John Jones is here, bro? What has John Jones done
That's
to
him
warrant?
promoting Jones Stipe. That's
I
him promoting
guess,
Jones
but Jones
But I
Stipe.
don't.
is
Why
come
was
on,
he
man.
was shitting on
I
Islam
really think
hard
that's Dana
right
saying
after he
that.
won
But
in a great ass fight. I kind of agree because it wasn't the right time to be like. He was like, "There's no fucking way Islam is #1."
he's like,
"Good, leave him." It's like he had an issue with them or some shit. But yeah, I guess like he said, he's like promoting that fight, but he still has to promote Islam's next fight too. It's like, when is he the #2 pound for pound in the world? Clear. But yeah, I don't know. But fuck, man, we're gonna talk about this card real quick, and I got a few fights that I've broken down, a few that I haven't. But yeah, this first fight of the night, I actually like this fight. I looked into it a little bit. It's the or at least the one that I'm gonna talk about, the Puja Tumar versus Rayon Amanda. So I actually bet on Puja at plus 195, and it's a little bit sketchy because obviously it's like Indian fighter, and like I don't know how exactly she's gonna look up, but she's fought at one and she looked
I
pretty bad.
think that sorry to cut you off. I think that Amanda's gonna tap from.
She could tap her. I mean, that's like if she
No, I
wins.
said I think Amanda's gonna tap from her smell.
What?
She's gonna tap from her smell.
Oh fuck yeah! Hopefully that'd be good shit. But but Tumar's actually good, man. I was actually impressed with her on the feet. I think her grappling, like her takedown defense, looked a lot better at her last fight, and she fought like some big Russian chick. But if she gets put on her back, she's probably gonna get submitted. I mean, she looks bad on the ground, but her striking is good. She has like a slick style, like that wushu stand-up style, where she's in and out with her striking. Good movement. And Amanda, I mean, she has okay stand-up, but it's more like she's just a dog. She likes to fight. She's winging these wild punches. She's athletic, but I think it'll be competitive on the feet, where it'll be like a split decision. So if you're getting like 2-1 odds, I'll definitely take that. Amanda has good submission, like arm bars, it seems like, but she armbarred a bunch of bums, so it's like hard to take much from that. She doesn't wrestle, so I feel like Tomar can maybe win this one here. But do you guys look into this fight or not really yet?
Let them look into it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I don't even really remember Amanda's debut, to be honest. I'll have to rewatch that. And
yeah, it was. She lost like a split to Talita Alankar, that wrestler girl, but.
Yeah, and Tomar, I'm not familiar. I got, she fought someone I know just because B Win is a fighter, who has a little hype, but sucks. But Pooja, I'm sure she's 5'1". I'm sure she's tiny, dude. So if she has grappling problems, that could definitely be an issue.
But Amanda is fucking the same size.
Yeah, 5'2".
She fought at 105, like
yeah.
in Invicta. But yeah,
this could definitely, low level women's MMA always can play out very close. So getting a big dog. Guru sniping it.
We'll see. But yeah, Cody Stamen versus Taylor Lapilus. Kind of an interesting fight. I mean, I've been hearing that Stamen has been looking pretty good, so I think he's live to win, but it's more of a live bet to me. Like, see if Stamen's able to take him down, or Lapilus can kind of negate it and hold him against the fence. So I think it's going to be a shit fight, though, honestly. I mean, Lapilus is a boring point fighter, so it's going to go over. And, Stamen, if he can get the wrestling going, he'll probably win. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Like, Stamen off this
Well,
long
listen, what do you think of Lapilus has a significant reach advantage, like 5 inches on reach?
Yeah, if he wins, it's just going to be him fainting and moving the whole time. But it's like, Stamen always is probably like, he's probably used to people being long, though, against him,
Well, listen, I'll say this. Lapilus has low volume, right? He's got very low volume. Stamen, he pushes the pace, right? And he's going to threaten takedowns. But from what I remember against Reed Balshrat, Lapilus is very good defensive wrestling, a very good get-up game. So Lapilus decision, I don't hate Lapilus by decision. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's like a live bet because if Stamen is able to just wrestle fuck him in the first, because Stamen's a lot better wrestler than Fareed Basra. Let's be honest, he has wrestling credentials, and Fareed's just like an MMA wrestler. So we'll see, but I think it's like a live bet type of thing because I don't know how Stamen's gonna look off a layoff because it's 135 too, so it's like you could look good in the gym, but it's different like going live.
What do you mean he's looked good in the gym? Do you have inside information?
Well, he just trains in Vegas. I know like a few people have told me like
Okay.
Stamen, he's looking pretty good. He's been training and he's taking a long time off. So they're saying like he's looking good. But yeah, what do you think about
that? Wasn't like a mocking question. I know that you kind of have insider information at times on this. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, what you got like a lean on this one, Fitz?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Stamen, so I have a little probably bias here in this pick, and I don't like Lapalus just because he's boring. He's got that boring French style. He could definitely just pick him apart. I think Lapalus decision definitely is the way to go if you're gonna bet it. But I'll be on Stamen here at the dog price. Almost 100%.
What are the odds on that prop? Like, because they have the odds right there, right? Isn't it? It says 14. So. Oh, no.
Well, this one says fight to go to decision minus 100,000. So
yeah, because I didn't think they opened the odds, but yeah. But this other fight, Eduardo Mora versus Gomes. I mean, this is a dog or pass for sure. I feel like it's like Mora. She has no experience, man. I mean, she's like finished all these chicks in the first round, so it's like Gomes is pretty tough. She has good cardio. Wrestling is bad, but her grappling is decent, and obviously she has power and striking. So I think she can get a late knockout. Maybe like Gomes round 3 could be a good value, but Mora can maybe like squeak the first 2 rounds. But I don't think Mora's gonna just submit her or finish her on the ground. I think Gomes is kind of too tough, so Mora's gonna have to go 3 rounds. So that's what makes it kind of like a dog or pass to me. But
Gomes is tough. Gomes is tough.
Like, her fight with Angela was good. It was a good fight. I mean, she won the first round. So, and Mora's like fighting nobodies. So, but yeah, I mean, what do you think about it, Fitz?
Yeah, I would definitely like Denise Gomes at the plus money. I think she's had definitely the tougher UFC fights. Definitely fought the better girls, and I just think Mora hasn't done anything to really warrant that price tag. I haven't really looked into it too much, especially on the Mora side. I have to rewatch her fight, but win over Montserrat Ruiz. Montserrat Ruiz is a terrible, terrible fighter.
If you look at her record, like she literally all besides that fight, it went like 7 minutes. All of her other fights, so it's like 5 minutes total. Like she's like winning in 1 minute and shit. So it's like I don't know how she's gonna look, but yeah. What about you, Justin?
I haven't. This is another fight I haven't looked into, and let me just ask you this right now, Greer. What do you think about this card from a betting perspective? Because I haven't taped any fights. Obviously, I got early leans and stuff, but this card seems very tricky. I feel like I'm just walking on eggshells with every fight.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fights where it's like dog or pass, but it could be kind of like a trap type of fight, where it's like that Denise Gomes fight. Like if you pick Gomes, like she could just get wrestle fucked the whole time, but it's like she could have good value. So I don't know, but yeah, I kind of agree. But there's a couple of fights I like we'll talk about like that Andrew Lee versus Montana fight. I bet on Andrew already. It was like she was like minus 115 or minus 110 or something. So she's taking some money, but I get Andrew's been losing a lot of fights, but so is Montana, and I feel like on the feet, Andrew is always going to be better than her. She's going to have more power. She's more athletic. And Montana's not, I mean, if you saw from the first fight, I mean, Andrew Lee was winning the grappling exchanges. So I feel like Andrew Lee's only gotten better with her wrestling or grappling since that fight. She's been fighting a lot better opponents than Montana. She's been more active. So I think this is a good spot. I think Andrew Lee's going to come back and win this one.
Andrew Lee, she had a 15-minute staring contest with Miranda Maverick, though. That was such a bad performance.
Yeah, Montana's fights have been pretty tough. I mean, JJ Aldrich, not so much, but Macy Barber and Tatiana Suarez,
But Andrea beat
Stiff
Macy.
competition.
Like Andrea beat Macy, and we all kind of
Yeah. Yeah, she should have.
you know. But and Andrea Lee, like I don't know, I think it's a good fight for her. Like especially with the first fight, because it's like Montana's striking still sucks, dude. I was watching her fight with JJ. It's like she's still so stiff on the feet. Like Andrea Lee's going to be a lot better than her, I feel like, in the stand up. So I think it'll be a pretty easy fight for Andrea, to be honest. But
Boys, I'm leaning Lee.
Me too. And the one thing I like is, Lee's coming off all these losses. So, the confidence is one thing I would question. But she already has a win over Montana. So I think for the mental, that's a big factor.
Well, Montana's lost. They both, like, Montana's lost 3 in a row and Andrea's lost 4 in a row. So it's like they're both on.
So both these girls, it's.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's tough to get back in there, after so many losses. You definitely have doubts. But I think Lee, having already won, is going to have some confidence, and I think she's going to get the job done. Just a better fighter, better everywhere, on the feet, on the ground, like you said. The first fight shows a lot. If anything, Andrea Lee has made the more strides.
Yeah, I think it, dude. One thing I don't like about Montana, like every fight, bro, her nose is gonna break in every fight. So it's like that's one thing that's good. Like if you bet against her, she's gonna break her nose in the fight, so that's good. But this next fight, this is a sick fight. I was watching both these guys fight earlier today with Daniel Marcos versus Castaneda, and close line. And I totally agree with that. I mean, I think it should be a pick 'em. Honestly, I mean, Castaneda's a beast, dude. I like his coach. I feel like he has one of the best coaches in MMA with Greg Nelson. Like that guy, he doesn't coach many fighters anymore, but look at all the guys he coached in UFC. Like a lot of UFC champs, dude. So Greg Nelson's a beast. He always has really good game plans. His fighters always are like have sick movement, and Castaneda's the same way. Like great footwork. He's moving around, switching stances, high volume. He can wrestle. So I like Castaneda. I think Castaneda is really good. And Marcos, good Muay Thai striker with forward pressure, nice kicks, and straight punches. So I feel like this fight's going to come down to if Castaneda can get the wrestling going like early on in the fight. And I think if he can, then he's going to run away with the decision, just mixing it up. Marcos, he's going to have to do damage early, I think, like leg kick damage or land like some big crosses, because I feel like Castaneda is going to be a lot more active, so he's going to have to slow him down somehow. But I'm going to slightly with Castaneda. I mean, he's been fighting a lot more fights. Like he's had like double the amount of fights that Marcos has had. He's fought good opponents, and I feel like he's just going to be more active and kind of squeak that decision. But it's a hard fight to be confident in. Like I said, I think if you watch the fight in the first round, Castaneda is getting a few takedowns, then you can lie bet him, because I think he'll win. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I think about this matchup. So anyone else, you guys have like a read on this one?
This is the toughest fight for me to call. Yeah, I think it is a real tough one. I think they'll take it to go to decision. I don't know what the line will look like, if it'll be too heavy, but I think that's the way to bet it, because I think it could go either way. But I don't know if we'll see a finish on either end.
The over 2.5 is like minus 245, so it could be like minus 200.
That's crazy.
But if it's minus 200, it's not terrible line, I don't feel like, because I do think it'll go over. But yeah, what do you think, Justin?
Yeah, look, close fight, man. Haven't looked into it. I haven't looked into it, but it seems like a fun fight on paper.
Yeah, for sure. Marcos, he hasn't lost either, so it's like hard to kind of pick against him before the fight. But yeah, this next one, kind of a squash match. I feel like they're trying to get Katona back on track, I guess, even though I don't feel like Katona's like a big name. But Jesse Butler, he's just a grappler. Doesn't have wrestling, though, and his striking sucks, like bad striking defense. So I feel like Katona's just getting a decision of, hold him against the cage, outstrike him, boring ass fight. So Katona will probably win decision. And, he's like, what, minus 600? Yeah, that's one thing, too. Butler, he fought Jim Miller at 155.
Yeah.
And now he's fighting at 135 for the first time ever. So, yeah, that's a good call, Billy. I mean, I don't know how he's going to look at 135, but either way,
Katona
I think
should wash him, I think. But
You think
Katona
he'll
had a
finish?
pretty big Katona, I don't really think finishes anyone. But he had that I wasn't crazy about his last performance, man, at all. Just not a good showing against Garrett Armfield. So yeah, he needs to bounce back here, and I don't know if he justifies the -600 line. But Jesse Butler just might be a bit of a can. I think that's what the books think, at least clearly based on the line.
I mean, Jim Miller knocked him out in like 10 seconds or something, like a first punch or some shit. But yeah, I mean, are you going to be picking? You got Butler, right, Justin?
No, I got Katona, but I mean, there's not much you can do with a 6-1 favorite.
Well, like, does anyone think he's going to actually finish? Like, you think? I don't know what the odds will be, but if he's like +200, would anyone bet on Katona to actually finish somebody? I don't know. I mean, this would be the fight if he gets a finish, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, Radke versus Prates. I haven't looked into this fight at all, to be honest. So Prates is like that MMA nerds guy that looks like pretty sick, right? So
Yeah, he's tall, lanky on the feet.
Southpaw switch stance fighter.
yeah, and Charles Radke,
he was losing to Trevor Giles though, up until the knockout.
Oh yeah, didn't Giles? He was like hurting him and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Radke, I guess, has
Mitch Ramirez, right? That was a very good performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch Ramirez. He fought him on like 3 days' notice though, or something. But yeah, Charles.
I definitely feel like the value's on Radke here.
Yeah, he looked good his last fight too. He was the underdog, and he got that quick knockout. But that guy hadn't fought in a long ass time. That Urbina guy.
Yeah, and I'm not too high on Urbina. I think I'll be on Pratis here. The line's a little high. How do you think Radke gets it done? You wrestling, or you think he can have success on the feet? Because I think on the feet, Pratis is pretty dangerous, man. He's long and he has power.
He's got to utilize the offensive wrestling here. He's got to make it dirty and utilize the offensive wrestling. I'm probably going to stay off this fight. My outright pick is Prates, but the odds are too wide.
I do like Radke on the mic though, dude. So I hope he wins because his promos are fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ludovit Klein versus Thiago Moises. I don't know. Good line here. I mean, I feel like for Klein, I think Ludovit Klein should get the job done here. I mean, you kind of know what Moises is at this point, where it's like if you could pressure him and make it hard on the feet, he kind of checks out. He maybe won't get knocked out in a lot of fights, but just low volume doesn't do much. And I feel like Klein's underrated. You know, he's athletic. If he could stop the takedowns, I think he'll be able to win this one on the feet. So I like Klein in this fight. Anyone else, like Klein, or you going with Moises?
Yeah, I like Klein here. And, what I like so much about these striker versus grappler matchups, it always favors the striker, man, in that the fight's going to start striking. Every round's going to start striking. And, the question here is, does Moises get the grappling going? I don't think he does. Klein has very good defensive wrestling. He's got the striking advantage. And like you said, Moises, he checks out. He doesn't have heart. If the going gets tough, he doesn't necessarily get finished, but he doesn't really fight hard to get back into it. So I got Klein probably by decision, but I'm happy to bet the money line.
Yeah, the line I think is good on that fight. But what about you, Fitz? Are you going to be going with Moises? Or are you rolling with us on this one?
No, I like Klein too. I think there's a path where he can stop Moises. I just don't think. I mean, on the ground, it might look like one-way traffic. Like if Moises is able to get a takedown, like he might have a. I think he does. I'd be pretty confident saying he has a huge advantage if it does hit the mat. But I just don't think he has the gas and the wrestling to get consistent takedowns. And Klein, I think, will defend. Use the clinch, use some knees in the clinch, and definitely get the more damage off it. And Moises doesn't want to strike with this guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good line, honestly. So Klein, -130 now. I bet he'll be -160 or something by fight night potentially. But yeah, this next fight, kind of a shitty fight, honestly. We got a guy with No chin, but he's pretty skilled with Miguel Baeza. I feel like he should win this one. I mean, against Puna, who has, really low level striking. He's just kind of like a slugger, a bomber type of guy that likes to brawl. So Baeza should win this fight. It's just Soriano has that puncher's chance, and Baeza has a really bad chin. So I don't know if you want to trust him at chalk, but I don't know. I feel like it's a good matchup for Baeza to get the win.
It's a fun fight on paper. It seems like a very fun fight on paper. Yeah, Baeza is definitely the better striker from a technical perspective, but he's on a losing streak. Both guys are, but Baeza, he's taken some bad knockout losses. And you talk about a fighter who just wants to go in there and brawl. That's Andre Fialho. I know that Andre Fialho is more of a technical boxer, but he's a brawler. He's someone who just goes in there and slugs. And Baeza got TQ'd by him in the first, so you can make a case for Baeza getting a knockout. He's just one thing I will say is he's explosive, he's got power, and he definitely has the better durability. But Baeza does have the better striking, and what's his name? Punihale. His shots are very telegraphed, and yeah, Baeza should win. He's been out for a few years. He's young, and maybe he comes in improved. I know he took a grappling fight earlier this year, from what I remember, and I don't know what you guys think about this, but Baeza coming in with the wrestling game plan and maybe winning by submission. Could you guys see that happening? Is that a good long shot prop? Baeza wins by submission.
I think Puna's takedown defense is pretty good. Training at Extreme
I mean,
Couture, I don't
Dustin
know.
Schultz submitted him in his last fight. I know that Baeza is definitely gonna have the grappling advantage if he's able to get it down.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I mean, Baeza submitted that one Chinese dude, right?
Takashi Sato.
Yeah, he's good on the ground. I know he's a black belt, but I feel like he's gonna be trying to stay away from him. I don't know if he can try to wrestle the guy, but he could.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he's been doing. Like Billy Bruce said, like, what the fuck is Baze been? I mean, if he's been wrestling and is confident in it, like you said, he took a grappling match, maybe he could. But yes, maybe I don't know what the line will be. It could be a decent, like, sneaky play, maybe. But yeah. What about you, Fitz? Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I was a fan of Baeza. I bet him probably in all of his losses, definitely against Fialho and I think even against Chaos Williams. But I think the line is just a little too high for my liking after the layoff. He's also moving up in weight class to 185, right, for this fight.
Yeah.
So I
Is he? I thought
he's
how he was
actually at
moving down.
170. Oh, I'm mistaken. No, Soriano's moving down.
Yeah. I don't have Tapology, boys. I'm just going off memory. So
no, it's definitely at 170. But yeah, I guess the layoff is good though for the chin, because he's not taking as much damage as he would if he was in fights. So, I like Baeza more as a fighter, but I think the line's a little too high. But I'll probably end up being on the Baeza side.
Yeah, and then Larry CTM said Brian Majo, he thought Paulo Costa won the fight. I mean, he has to be trolling, I feel like. I don't know, but I'm not sure, bro. But yeah, Julian Marquez versus Zach Reese. This fight sucks, honestly. I mean, it's going to be a fun fight to watch, but to bet on, hard to be confident to me. I mean, Marquez has looked like shit in his recent fights, but he should beat this guy, right? It's like Zach Reese has done nothing in the sport. Like, he kind of destroyed some bums as like 5 minutes of fight time and then got slam killed by Brundage. So I feel like Marquez on the feet should have this all day. He has the experience. He has like double the UFC, or like, I guess he only has like 6 UFC fights, but he's been in the UFC for such a long ass time. Zach Reese, like, I don't know what to think about the guy, but you guys gonna give Zach Reese like another chance here? You like him at the plus money?
if he can get the wrestling going, he can win. But I mean, losing like that against Cody Brundage, I think Cody Brundage is underrated. But yeah, I mean, this is a very bummy fight. It should be entertaining to watch, but I'm gonna stay away from a betting perspective.
Yeah.
Me too.
Or my bad. Go ahead.
I think like you guys are saying, I'll just reiterate it. Tough fight. I mean, the line's close for a reason. Could definitely see it going anyway. I mean, Zachary Reese, just nothing to have any confidence in him. I would think just based on his UFC debut and stuff. But Marquez really is not that high level of fighter. Tough guy. I'd like to see how Marquez comes into fights because I think there's times he'll come in looking a little bit in better shape than other times. So you want to see what he's looking like on the scales and stuff. But yeah, tough fight. I think I would probably lean Marquez, but I don't know, man. Definitely the under, but I'm sure the under is probably pretty juiced.
Yeah, and then a few people are talking about this fight. Like you said, Zach Reese is a BJJ nerd. I think Marquez might give him trouble. I mean, if it stays standing, then he's going to be the better striker, you'd think. I mean, but he has no durability anymore, so it's kind of whatever. But the matchmakers are giving Reese fight they think he could win and isn't reflective in the odds. Like, yeah, that's what I was at. That's why I was asking if either you like the plus money because it's like his last fight he was like minus 400 in his UFC debut. So it's like could be a buy low spot for Zach Reese where he goes in here and destroys Marquez, and everyone is kind of like kicking themselves that they didn't place the bet, and I think the line flipped, but I don't know. Just to me, I'm not sold on Zach Reese, being that like buy low prospect, but I definitely get it like from Billy's perspective, but yeah, I mean Marquez can't fight past half a round. I mean he is. I will say he did go to the MMA lab for this camp, so maybe that'll help him out. But he's switching camps all the time, Marquez. So yeah, Marquez ain't getting caught in a first round sub. Recently has first round finishes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna get to decision though. I'd be surprised. But I bet you if you get that line, Larry, and you like that, then probably be like plus 2,000 Marquez by decision. But yeah, I mean, hard fight for me to pick, honestly. But yeah, this next one, Bruno Ferreira versus Dustin Stolfus. I mean, I think Stolfus might have some value. I mean, the guy looked really good his last fight, and Bruno Ferreira, kind of another one of these guys that's unproven, where he's gotten some quick knockouts, got knocked out himself. So I don't know. I got to look into this one a little bit more, but I feel like Stolfus maybe could be a live underdog in this one. So what do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, I like Dustin at the big plus money. I think he's training with Sean Strickland, so I'm sure he's going to be looking good as ever. And this is a real, pretty big line in my opinion for someone in Bruno Ferreira, who has some decent wins, but strongest to win can knock out Phil Hawes. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be on Stolcius here, to be honest, probably by submission too.
Yeah, look, I think that the odds are too wide here. Ferreira, he's the favorite. I expected that, but the odds are too wide. And, you go back to his only UFC loss against Nursultan, long rangey guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Dustin is going to be a bit taller here, and he's going to have the reach advantage. So I think he can, maybe make something happen in the grappling. He's coming off a good performance. I do think he's underrated. His record's a bit dirty, but he's had some good performances. Even in the fight against GM3, it's a loss, but it's a fight he was winning. So I think the odds are too wide. Value's definitely on Stoltz's here.
Yeah, so that might be a good bet because we all kind of agree on that. So yeah, we'll see. But Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Turcios. Honestly, when they first booked this fight, I was thinking Turcios was a good bet. He's a good anti-grappler, scrambler, kind of weird guy to grapple with, and that's what Rosas wants to do. But I feel like the more time that you're giving Rosas in between these fights, he's only going to keep getting better, and I think he's going to probably steamroll Ricky here. I mean, kind of what I'm thinking now at this point. So I feel like he's going to justify the line, whether he gets the finish or he kind of just wrestle fucks him for 3 rounds. So Turcios, maybe he could do something if he could make it like a scramble fest and get Raul tired, but I think Raul probably should, be a decent parlay piece.
Yeah, Howell is he's very young. This guy's only 3 years older than me, man. I think he's 19, so he's going to be improving a lot on a fight to fight basis. And I was checking out just his socials, seeing what he's up to, and it seems like he's put on some serious mass. He's definitely training with much better fighters. I mean, seen some photos of him floating around with Marab and whatnot. So he's going to be improving a lot on a fight-to-fight basis, and this is a fight where you should get the wrestling going.
Yeah, I'm on Rosas here. I think he'll probably get a submission here, but maybe he just does control. But yeah, I was on him the first fight around. It does kind of scare me how that whole thing went down. I don't know exactly what happened, why he didn't fight. He had some sort of stomach issue. Hopefully it was just, from drinking some bad water down in
It was like
Mexico
on
or
Fight
whatever.
Night or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. I got called off the same day right before it. But yeah, I'll be on Rosas here. I'm a fan of the kid, man. What he's doing at his age is incredible. Anyone hating on him is kind of a loser, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It is funny though, not hating on him, but he is like a very memeable guy, dude. Like just like
he has a crazy face, bro. His chin is so huge. I mean, he's not. Luckily, he's a great fighter because I don't know how far his looks were taking him.
I had money the first time the pullout scares me. Like they never confirm rumors. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's parlayable. But like I was saying, the first fight I was picking Rico.
You guys already cut you off there, Gear. You guys let me know what you think about this. The main event over 4.5, parlayed with Howell, and the only thing that would scare me from the over 4.5 is a possible Cannonier late TKO. But Jared Cannonier, these past few fights, he's been winning by decision, but that's the only thing that would scare me. Imavov possibly slowing down and getting TKO'd late, but I definitely feel like if Imavov wins, it's probably a decision. And what do you guys think of that? Over 4.5, parlayed with Howell for a plus money parlay.
I don't know about what's the line on the over?
It's minus 155 last I checked.
Nah, dude, I don't like. I would want plus money on that on the over.
Okay,
Because Jared, bro, his last fight, he landed like 300 strikes or some shit, dude.
Yeah. Vittori's durable.
That's kind of like it's.
Vittori durable is an understatement. He's impossible to put away.
Well, listen,
seriously.
Listen, boys, Vittori's very hittable, and I don't see Cannonier connecting at a clip like that. At least not in the early rounds.
Yeah, I mean Jared. I don't know. I think Jared looked really good in that fight.
It's never good.
I just don't like the line.
Look, it's never good when a 40-year-old is out for 10 months. I should stay away from the over because I said it myself. If this fight extends, Imavov could slow down, and I don't see Imavov taking the shots. So,
well, I said, if it was over 4.5, like plus 110 or something, I'd probably bet that maybe. But I don't like minus 155. I don't like the line. So
I think Cannonier. I mean, let's talk about the co-main event real quick though. But I like the decision, to be honest. I think it does, kind of hit that over 4.5.
I mean, if I picked it, I would say probably Cannonier by decision, is my prediction, but I don't know. It's just sketchy because it's a high weight class, 5 rounds too. So
yeah, I'm on Cannonier as well.
Parlays or juiced over on that. It's kind of sketchy, but Jared hasn't finished anyone in a long time, like you said, and I don't see Imavov getting a finish. So, but yeah, I guess so. We all like Cannonier in that one.
Yeah,
I like Cannonier, especially at these odds, man. Haven't put down an official bet. I'm gonna get started on tape tomorrow, but look, more experience. He's been out for 10 months and he is 40, so that is a kind of a red sign there, red flag. But I only judge fighters off their past performance, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. That's probably his career best performance right there. I think that he can get the late rounds 3, 4, and 5. I think he'll do good. Imavov slows down, and even the fight against Elidze, rounds 4 and 5, he was looking sloppy. So Imavov probably gets the early rounds, possibly a good live betting spot in Jared Cannonier, but I think he wins a competitive decision here.
Yeah, and that's a good main event though, for sure. I mean, so
yeah,
it's a very high level fight, and like I said, middleweight's just a really stacked division. I like Cannonier. I mean, I think it's a little disrespectful that he's an underdog, to be honest. I guess.
Well,
mean,
that's
just
just the young fighter.
It's because
yeah, and exactly.
Yeah.
But dude, Cannonier has gone out there time and time again and proved he's absolutely elite.
yeah.
And I mean, I've not really been high on Cannonier. You know, I think I had Strickland and Vittori against him. Probably, you know, got both those wrong. So
I
Cannonier's
thought
proved me wrong, and
versus Cannonier, but
me too. I mean, I thought I got screwed, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still a win for Cannonier. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I guess the length of Imavov, and Imavov is a really good striker, but this is a way tougher fight than Roman Dolidze. Like, I don't even think these guys, Cannonier and Dolidze, are really in the same stratosphere. To be honest, I think Cannonier
Yeah,
is
and you
way
guys
higher
let me know
level.
what you think. Sorry to cut you off there, pal, but you guys let me know what you think about this. Israel Adesanya versus Imavov was a very competitive fight. No, it was competitive.
Versus Cannonier.
No, sorry, Cannonier versus Adesanya was competitive.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that
I
was
was
like
there
prime
live for that
Izzy.
fight, and it was like fucking one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life. So,
But
but
was
It's
it not
just every
competitive?
one of Izzy's title fights was one of the worst
it
fights
was
you've ever seen
close. It
in
was
your
just
life.
a close, like low volume sparring match. Yeah, but I feel like Jared looked better like after that fight. But
Yeah,
why
I
you're
mean, I
saying?
think that
You
Vittori
think,
fight is one of the best performances of his career.
are you saying you think Imhoff is like a bad version of Izzy?
Well, not exactly, but it's just kickboxers. They like to fight at space. There are definitely some similarities.
Yeah, I mean, you train MMA Factory. It's like that type of style, their
Yeah.
gym. But yeah, talking about this co-main event, I mean, hard fight to predict here. I mean, Jacoby at a 2 to, like, I don't like the price on Jacoby. I feel like, I mean, you could never pick. I couldn't ever pick Reyes anymore. It's like he just got it knocked out so many times in a row. What I guess only twice in a row, but they were just brutal as fuck. But or 3 times in a row or whatever it's been. But Jacoby, his chin is gone too, man. I mean, I feel like his durability is bad too now. So Jacoby will probably knock him out, but someone's going to get knocked out in this fight for sure. It's going to be entertaining. So, like,
You can
I
go.
mean, anyone going with Reyes in this one?
I can't pick Reyes, no.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Jacoby wins. Again, you said it yourself, Fitz and Beer. You can't pick Reyes at this stage in his career. Taking a few knockout losses like that, his confidence is probably shot. And I mean, Jacoby seems like he should be the better striker from a technical perspective. I don't think either guy brings a wrestling threat. I know people are constantly talking up Reyes as wrestling, but he's never really utilized it. Reyes could win if he shows up, but Jacoby should win. Again, the odds on him are kind of gross, so this is a stay away fight, but it'll be entertaining to watch.
This is a much more winnable fight for Reyes than Carlos Olberg was. I think that's who he was supposed to fight, which he would have got smashed. So I do think, Jacoby's not some world beater, and he's not really like he has some knockouts. Like he knocked out Kennedy, but he doesn't have the craziest power. So if it's like just a close stand-up fight, Reyes might be faster. I think he's more athletic on the feet. So I know I wrote him off right away, but I might, there's a sneaking suspicion I might flip to Reyes. But I like Dustin Jacoby too. I think he's a very solid striker, great fundamentals, good jab. Does the low kicks, but I don't know if he has that knockout threat. And if Reyes' chin can hold up, he still might have some form of a decent fighter in him. But just no confidence at all.
Yeah, but man, I mean, I feel like we were pretty aligned with quite a few picks, so hopefully it'll be a good card for us. And just an early preview. I mean, I might have some other switch couple predictions, but pretty confident on most of them. And I've looked at a few matchups that I was talking about. So yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully everyone that's watching it back can learn something from it. And yeah, thanks you guys for joining me. If you guys want to shout anything out that you got going on, or just say peace, floor's yours.
And just make sure you hit up my guy's Patreon, man. That's it. There's a lot of lower level cards going on, low level promotions going on this week. I think KSW won. I don't know,
Yeah,
just a bunch. I
PFL
seen it
is doing okay.
on the Tapology. So tap in. You already know.
Yeah, dude. I
And
mean,
yeah,
I just talked about my betting a little bit. We won again this weekend, like 2 units almost on UFC, like 1.8 units, I think, and over 2 units on ACA. So we've been doing really well this year. You know, man, I'm getting close to 300 units, which is a pretty cool like number to get to on MMA tips or whatever. So yeah, man, definitely go to Patreon and check that out. But Justin, what about you, brother?
Yeah, you can check me out on YouTube, MMA Betting Mastermind, UFC breakdowns, and betting tips. That's really it. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, man, no worries. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll be back soon with a couple more videos on the channel. So stay locked in, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.